Give us a sense of how the efforts are going right now. We saw the president yesterday with some business leaders. How's it going across the country? Because you really have your fingers into a lot of different groups across the country.
Well, look, we think it's going well. We think that the plan is already bipartisan. It enjoys support from many Republican mayors and county executives. About 74% of the American people support the American Rescue Plan. 50% of Republicans, 46% of Trump voters. So we think it's a very popular plan, and it's needed. And so that's why we have a sense of urgency with it. That's why you see us doing so much outreach to Republicans, to businesses, to faith leaders, to young people. We're crisscrossing the country via Zoom and virtual meetings to make sure that everybody understands how important it is.
Are there certain parts of the plan that particularly resonate, or is it different groups are enthusiastic about different parts of it?
No, some portions of the plan are really, really popular. I mean, one of the most popular portions of the plan, not only the direct payments, but the assistance in terms of nutrition and the child tax credits and the earned income tax credit expansion. All of those things lift people out of poverty this year. And so they enjoy broad bipartisan support. And so, of course, money to schools so that they can open safely and we can get our children back in a physical school building, along with helping states and local municipalities support their frontline workers, is also popular.
So a lot of bipartisan support you recount, and the polls seem to indicate that, if there are a number of Republicans as well. Is that going to translate into Republican votes up on the Hill, though? Because we haven't seen much of that so far.
Look, we hope so. And the president is working very hard to get Republican support. He's engaging with them. They're exchanging ideas. But the one thing the president is not willing to do is let opposition or inertia or obstruction slow down the relief that we have planned for the American people.
Where does the line come between obstruction or inertia, as you just said, and compromise on the other? Are there some things that the White House, in theory, would be willing to make some compromises on if it really would get the job done?
Look, I think the president has already signaled that he was willing to talk about targeting the checks to the middle class and the people who need them most, and those that are doing very well maybe shouldn't get as much or anything. But look, we're going to continue to engage Republicans and their ideas as this bill makes it through the process. And so we are willing to engage until it's passed. And we hope that Republicans would come along with us. We hope that they would offer ideas, and if those ideas are adopted, that they would vote for it. But at the end of the day, this is not about President Biden getting a feather in his cap. This is not about any particular accomplishment. At the end of the day, we are laser focused on delivering aid and relief to the American people that are hurting.
Where are you on the $15 minimum wage? Because there's been a lot of question raised about that, including whether you can get that done through budget reconciliation at all.
Well, the parliamentarian is going to make a decision on that, but we support the minimum wage, and we support it at $15 an hour. Look, American people are hurting. This would lift tens of millions of Americans out of poverty that are working every day. And so this American Rescue Plan is about uplifting the country, helping people who need it, and not leaving anybody behind. And so if you look at Moody's report, this plan would create another 7.5 million jobs this year. It would reduce the pain of Americans, and we would get back to full unemployment, where we were before the pandemic, in less years if we pass this plan than if we don't. If we don't pass this plan, it'll be 2025 before we reach full employment again. So we're laser focused on trying to deliver this relief, because we know exactly what it's going to mean to the American people. And then here's the other part about it. We need to stop chasing after COVID, and we need to get in front of it. And so the 5 bills that Congress passed, and I was there, they all had one thing in common. They were all too little, too late. And so this effort would allow us to completely wrap our arms around this pandemic, control this pandemic, and start working on restarting the economy and getting people back to work, people back to school.
So you're laser focused, and goodness knows you've got a lot on your platter right now. But let me get ahead of ourselves here a little bit, because the president has talked about Build Back Better. That's a second phase. That's not this. That's building back later on. Things like infrastructure. Have you started working on that at all yet?
Yes, we started having conversations, and we're going to have bipartisan conversations about infrastructure also. So when we met with CEOs, when we meet with business groups, when we meet with our friends in labor, we're talking about the American Rescue Plan, and we're talking about Build Back Better in terms of an infrastructure plan to fix the deferred maintenance in this country, to invest in broadband and things of that nature, and to continue to put people back to work, stimulate the economy, and get us going as a country.
Okay, thank you so much, and congratulations on your new position. That is Cedric Richmond. He is director of the White House Office of Public Engagement and a former congressman from the state of Louisiana.